Hi everybody, have a good time. This is my mini story of the race. Thank you for listening.
Hello, welcome to the mini story for The Race.
Welcome.
Let's get started. It was 5 o'clock, and Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco.
Oh,
When was Alan riding his motorcycle?
at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, he was riding his motorcycle.
Well, at 5 o'clock, right? At 5 o'clock, Alan was riding his motorcycle.
Well, at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, Alan was riding his motorcycle.
Was Alan riding his car? Or was Alan riding his motorcycle?
Of course, Alan was riding his motorcycle.
Well, of course, Alan was riding his motorcycle.
Of course, Alan was riding his motorcycle
Where was Alan riding his motorcycle?
in San Francisco. Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco.
In San Francisco. Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco.
In San Francisco. Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco.
When was he riding?
At 5 o'clock, he was riding on motorcycle in San Francisco at 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco.
At 5 o'clock, it's war 5 o'clock. Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco.
He was riding down Van Ness Street and came to a stoplight.
Oh,
Who was riding down Van Ness Street?
Alan. Alan was riding down Van Ness Street.
Alan. Alan was riding down Van Ness Street.
Alan was riding down Van Ness Street.
What was he riding on?
On motorcycle. He was riding down motorcycle.
Well, on a motorcycle. He was riding on his motorcycle.
On motorcycle. He was riding on his motorcycle.
Was he riding down Market Street?
No, not Market Street. He wasn't riding down Market Street.
No, not Market Street. He wasn't riding down Market Street.
No, not Market Street. He wasn't riding down Market Street.
Was he riding down Lombard Street?
No, he wasn't riding down Lombard Street. He was riding down Van Ness Street.
No, he wasn't riding down Lombard Street. He was riding down Van Ness Street.
No, he wasn't riding down Lombard Street. He was riding down Van Ness Street.
When? When was he riding down Van Ness Street?
At 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, he riding down Van Ness Street.
At 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, he was riding down Van Ness Street.
At 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, he was riding down Van Ness Street.
Who was riding down Van Ness Street at 5 o'clock?
Alan. Alan was riding down Van Ness Street at 5 o'clock.
Alan. Alan was riding down Van Ness Street.
Alan. Alan was riding down Van Ness Street at 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock. Was he in a truck?
No, he wasn't in a truck. He was on his motorcycle.
No, he wasn't in a truck. He was on his motorcycle. And he came to a stoplight.
No, he wasn't in a truck. He was on his motorcycle and he came to a stoplight.
Did Alan come to a go light?
No, he didn't come to a go light. He came to a stoplight. We never say go light. We only say stoplight.
No. He didn't come to a go light. He came to a stop light. We never say go light. We only say stop light.
No, he didn't come to a go light. He came to a stoplight. We never say go light. We only say stoplight.
Who came to a stoplight?
Alan, of course, Alan came to a stoplight.
Alan, of course. Alan came to a stoplight.
Alan's Alan came to a stoplight.
What was he on when he came to a stoplight?
A motorcycle. He was on a motorcycle when he came to a stoplight.
A motorcycle. He was on a motorcycle when he came to a stoplight.
A motorcycle. He was on a motorcycle when he came to a stoplight.
Where was the stoplight?
Well, on Van Ness Street. The stoplight was on Van Ness Street.
Well, on Van Ness Street. The stoplight was on Van Ness Street.
Well, on Van Ness Street. The stoplight was on Van Ness Street.
Was the stoplight on Embarcadero Street? Or was the stoplight on Van Ness Street?
On Van Ness Street, of course. The stoplight was on Van Ness Street.
Van Ness, of course, Van Ness. The stoplight was on Van Ness Street.
Van Ness Street, of course. The stoplight was on Van Ness Street.
Who was at the stoplight?
Alan was at the stoplight.
Alan was at the stoplight. Which city was Alan in?
In San Francisco, of course. Alan was in San Francisco.
In San Francisco, of course. Alan was in San Francisco.
In San Francisco, of course. Alan was in San Francisco.
Where is Van Ness?
Van Ness Street is in San Francisco.
Well, Van Ness Street is in San Francisco.
Of course. Van Ness Street is in San Francisco.
Of course, Van Ness Street is in San Francisco. Is Van Ness Street in New York? Or is Van Ness Street in San Francisco?
Of course, Van Street is in San Francisco?
Well, of course, Van Ness Street is in San Francisco.
Well, of course, Van Street is in San Francisco.
Where was Alan riding?
He was riding on Van Street in San Francisco.
Oh, he was riding on Van Ness Street in San Francisco. And he came to a stoplight.
He was,
A red
he was riding on Van Street in San Francisco, and he came to a stoplight.
Ferrari pulled up next to him.
Oh,
Did the red Ferrari pull up behind him?
no, not behind him. A red Ferrari pulled up next to him.
No, 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 not behind him. The red Ferrari pulled up next to him.
No, 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 not behind him. A red Ferrari pulled up next to him.
What pulled up next to Alan?
A red Ferrari. A red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
A red Ferrari. A red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
A red Ferrari. A red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
Did Alan pull up next to a red Ferrari?
No, Alan didn't pull up next to a red Ferrari. A red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
No, no, no. Alan didn't pull up next to a red Ferrari. A red Ferrari pulled up next to him.
No, no, no. Alan didn't pull up next to a red Ferrari. A red Ferrari pulled up next to him.
Where did the red Ferrari pull up next to Alan?
A stoplight on Van Street. A stoplight on Van Street. A red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
At a stoplight on Van Ness Street. At a stoplight on Van Ness Street, a red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
A stoplight on Van Street. A stoplight on Van Street. A red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
Was Alan in a red Ferrari?
No, Alan wasn't in a red Ferrari. He was on his motorcycle.
No, no, no. Alan wasn't in a red Ferrari. He was on a motorcycle.
No, Alan wasn't in a red Ferrari. He was on his motorcycle.
Alan was on a motorcycle. What did the red Ferrari do?
A red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
Well, it pulled up next to Alan. The red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
Well, it pulled up next to Alan. A red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
The driver was wearing dark sunglasses.
Oh,
So, Alan was wearing dark sunglasses.
no, not Alan. Alan wasn't wearing dark sunglasses.
No, 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 not Alan. Alan wasn't wearing dark sunglasses.
No, 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 not Alan. Alan wasn't wearing dark sunglasses.
Who was wearing dark sunglasses?
The driver of the Ferrari was wearing dark sunglasses.
The driver of the Ferrari. The driver of the Ferrari was wearing dark sunglasses. Not Alan.
The driver of the Ferrari was wearing dark sunglasses, not Alan.
The driver looked over at Alan.
Oh,
Did the driver look behind Alan?
no. He looked over at Alan.
No. He looked over at Alan.
No. He looked over at Alan.
Who looked over at Alan?
The driver of the Ferrari looked over at Alan.
The driver of the Ferrari looked over at Alan.
The driver of the Ferrari looked over at Alan.
Did Alan look over at the driver?
Yes, he did. He also looked over at the driver.
Yes, he did. Alan also looked over at the driver.
Yes, he did. He also looked over at the driver.
Who was the driver?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was the driver.
Tom Cruise! Tom Cruise was the driver. Alan looked over at the driver and realized that the driver was Tom Cruise.
Oh.
Who was the driver of the Ferrari?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was the driver of the Ferrari.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was the driver of the Ferrari.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was the driver of the Ferrari.
Who was the motorcycle rider?
Alan. Alan was the motorcycle rider.
Alan. Alan was the motorcycle rider. And Tom Cruise was the driver of the Ferrari.
Alan was the motorcycle rider, and Tom Cruise was the driver of the Ferrari.
Who looked over at Alan?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise looked over at Alan.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise looked over at Alan.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise looked over at Alan.
What was Tom Cruise wearing?
Sunglasses. Tom Cruise was wearing dark sunglasses.
Sunglasses. Tom Cruise was wearing dark sunglasses.
Sunglasses. Tom Cruise was wearing dark sunglasses.
Was Alan wearing dark sunglasses?
No, he wasn't. Alan wasn't wearing dark sunglasses.
No, he wasn't. Alan wasn't wearing dark sunglasses. Tom Cruise was wearing dark sunglasses. And he looked over at Alan.
No, he wasn't. Alan wasn't wearing dark sunglasses. Tom Cruise was wearing dark sunglasses and he looked over at Alan.
Tom sneered at Alan.
Oh.
Oh no. Did Tom smile?
No, he didn't. He sneered at Alan.
No, he didn't. Tom didn't smile. He sneered at Alan.
No, he didn't. Tom didn't smile. He sneered at Alan.
Was Tom friendly and nice?
No, he wasn't friendly and nice. He sneered at Alan.
No, he wasn't friendly and nice. He sneered at Alan.
No, he wasn't friendly and nice. He sneered at Alan.
Did Alan sneer at Tom Cruise? Or did Tom Cruise sneer at Alan?
Well, Tom Cruise sneered at Alan.
Well, Tom Cruise sneered at Alan.
Well, Tom Cruise sneered at Alan.
After he sneered, what did Tom Cruise say?
He said, "When the light turns green, let's race."
Well, he said, when the light turns green, let's race.
He said, "When the light turns green, let's race."
After he sneered at Alan, Tom Cruise said, when the light turns green, let's race.
Oh.
Did Tom want to race?
Yes, of course. He had authority. He wanted to race.
Yes, of course. He has a Ferrari. He wanted to race.
Yes, of course. He had authority. He wanted to race.
Alan said, all right, you're on.
Oh.
Did Alan agree to race Tom?
Yes, he agreed. He said, "You're on."
Yes, he agreed. He said, you're on.
Yes, he agreed. He said, "You're on."
Did Tom say, you're on?
No, Tom didn't say "you're on." Alan said "you're on." He agreed to race.
No, Tom didn't say, you're on. Alan said, you're on. Alan agreed to race.
Tom didn't say "you're on." Alan said "you're on." Alan agreed to race.
Who said, you're on?
Alan. Alan said "you're on."
Alan. Alan said, you're on.
Alan. Alan said "you're on."
What did Alan agree to do?
To race. Alan agreed to race Tom. He said "you're on."
Well, to race. Alan agreed to race Tom. He said, you're on.
To race. Alan agreed to race Tom. He said "you're on."
Tom said, I'm gonna smoke you, sucker.
Oh.
Did Tom say he would beat Alan?
Yes, he did. He said, "I'm gonna smoke you. I'm gonna beat you."
Yes, he did. He said, I'm gonna smoke you. I'm gonna beat you.
Yes, he did. He said, "I'm gonna smoke you. I'm gonna beat you."
Did Tom say he would win?
Yes, he said he will win. He said, "I'm gonna smoke you."
Yes, he said he would win. He said, I'm gonna smoke you.
Yes, he said he will win. He said, "I'm gonna smoke you."
Who was Tom gonna smoke?
Alan. Tom were gonna smoke Alan.
Well, Alan. Tom was gonna smoke Alan.
Alan. Tom were gonna smoke Alan.
Was Tom gonna smoke Schwarzenegger?
No, He wasn't gonna smoke Schwarzenegger. He wore on Smoke Allen.
No, no, no. No, Tom wasn't gonna smoke Arnold Schwarzenegger. Tom was gonna smoke Alan.
No, no, no. Tom wasn't gonna smoke on Schwarzenegger. Tom wore on Smoke Allen.
Was Tom gonna smoke Alan at football, soccer?
No, Tom wasn't gonna smoke Allen at football or soccer. He were gonna smoke Allen in a race.
No, no, no. He wasn't gonna smoke Alan at football or soccer. He was gonna smoke Alan in a race.
No, no, no. Tom wasn't gonna smoke Allen at football or soccer. He were gonna smoke Allen in a race.
In a race. He was gonna smoke Alan in a race. Was Tom nice and polite?
No, he said sucker. He called Allen sucker. He said, I'm gonna smoke you, sucker. Sucker is not nice or polite.
No, he said sucker. He called Alan sucker. Is sucker a nice, polite word? No, it's not. It's not polite. It's not nice. He said, I'm gonna smoke you, sucker.
No, he said sucker. He called Allen sucker. Sucker is not nice polite. He said, I'm gonna smoke you,
Alan
sucker.
said, you wish. I'm gonna beat you and your sorry ass car.
Oh,
Did Tom have a very, very nice car?
no, he did not have a nice car. He had sorry ass Ferrari, sorry ass car.
No, he did not have a nice car. He had a sorry ass Ferrari. A sorry ass car.
No, he did not have a nice car. He had sorry ass Ferrari, sorry ass car.
What kind of car did Tom have?
He had sorry ass car, low quality car, bad car, cheap car.
He had a sorry ass car. Low quality car. Bad car. Cheap car.
He had sorry ass car, low quality car, bad car, cheap car.
Is a Ferrari a nice car?
No, it's not. It's a sorry ass car.
No, it's a sorry ass car. Ferraris are sorry ass cars.
No, it's sorry ass car. Ferrari is sorry ass car.
Did Alan like Tom's car?
No, he didn't. Alan True is wore a sorry ass car.
No, he didn't. Alan thought it was a sorry ass car.
No, he didn't. Alan thought he wore a sorry ass car.
Who had a sorry ass car?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise had sorry ass car.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise had a sorry ass car.
Tom Cruise had sorry ass car.
Did Alan have a sorry ass motorcycle?
No, Alan had a race motorcycle, but Tom Cruise had a sorry ass car.
No, Alan had a great motorcycle. But Tom had a sorry ass car.
No, Alan had a race motorcycle, but Tom had sorry ass car.
Alan and Tom waited at the light. They revved their engines. Vroom, 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 vroom.
Oh.
Who revved their engines?
Alan and Tom. Alan and Tom revved their engine.
Alan and Tom. Alan and Tom revved their engines.
Alan and Tom. Alan and Tom revved their engine.
Did they rev their bicycles?
No, not impossible. They didn't rev their bicycle. Of course not. They revved their engine.
No, not possible. They didn't rev their bicycles. Of course not. They revved their engines. What did they rev?
Their engine. They revved their engine.
Their engines. They revved. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Their engines.
Their engine. They rev their engine.
Tom and Alan revved their engines.
No.
Suddenly, the light turned green. Alan and Tom took off.
Oh.
Did Alan and Tom start slowly?
No. They didn't start slowly. They took off.
No, they didn't start slowly. They took off. They started quickly. They started very fast. Alan and Tom took off.
No, they didn't start slowly. They took off. They started quickly. They started very fast. Alan and Tom took off.
What did Alan take off on?
Alan took off on his motorcycle.
Alan took off on his motorcycle.
Alan took off on his motorcycle.
On his motorcycle. Alan took off on his motorcycle. What did Tom take off in?
In his car. Tom took off in his car.
In his car. Tom took off in his car. Tom took off in his Ferrari.
In his car. Tom took off in his car. Tom took off in his Ferrari.
Did they stop or did they take off quickly?
They took off quickly.
They took off quickly. Why did Alan and Tom take off quickly?
They took off quickly because they